Alright, what we've got today is a little sprayer. It's a little 1 gallon garden sprayer I use around for spraying weeds in the driveway, stuff like that. And it is having a difficulty with the on and off switch on the wand. It doesn't want to engage. It's gotten all bound up and too tight. So we're going to see if we can dig into that a little bit and get that fixed. So we're going to unscrew this little wand extension and get this whole thing apart a little bit so we can see what's going on. This thing comes apart fairly easily. We're going to unscrew this piece here on the bottom. Should give us access to a spring which has a little bit of debris in it. That may be some of the issue. And then we're going to take a screwdriver, if we need one, and see if I can pry this lever loose. Okay. And then we see what we have here is a little plunger that seems to be stuck. So let's see if we can get that out without too much problem. I may have to move that over to the vise in order to hold on to that while I try and drive it out. I've got my little soft pads on here so that I don't crush anything, and that's made out of plastic. Need to be careful of things like that when working on these. Put that in there. We'll kind of make it light. I don't want to put too much force on this plastic. I'm afraid that it might not make it. Let's see, I'll find something small enough to drive down this peg. Doing anything for me or not yet. It may need to come out that way. Let's just try it. Bring it out that way. Tap that down a couple of times and it popped right up. I'll see if I can get it the rest of the way out by just mashing that. Yeah, and I got it completely out, I believe. Let's see, yeah, it fell out. Okay, and this is what we have right here, a little plunger. It's got a couple of O-rings on it. We're going to examine that and make sure they are still clean. It looks like they are. It's a little bit gummy, so I'm going to take a towel and kind of wipe over that a little bit and see if I can get some of the gumminess off of it. And we'll see how the hole itself is. It looks, the hole itself, I don't know if you can really get a good look at that, but it's pretty clear. But I'm not sure. The spring has to sit over this portion here. It's the only part that's small enough for the spring to go over. And so, what happened to it? Is it in there? Yeah, okay. The issue seems to be that this is far too tight inside of its hole to be affected by this little spring. So we're going to have to find out why that is, and we're going to attempt to brush out this hole. You see a little brush to try and run through this and see if we can discover if there's any kind of issue going on here that I'm not aware of. I think that I will attempt to use a little brass brush on it if I can. I'd like to put the handle on it. To perhaps open it up some, and then I think I'll try a little dab of white grease. Yeah, I can see that this has gotten really jammed in here. Not sure about that. I'm going to try to use just a little dab of grease on this hole. I'll put a dab in on this side, and I'll probably put another dab on the other side too. For this, I would recommend something like either petroleum jelly or dielectric grease. This is what I'm using here. And we'll just use the brush to kind of work that in. I don't know if this is going to have the effect that we're looking for or not, but we shall see. Alright. That's got to go in that way. Alright, it is easier, so that's a good sign. But it's not going to be easy enough, I don't think, because it's going to put the cap back on briefly just to see what I'm talking about here. This is going to be depressed by operating the lever, and it needs to come back up, and it looks like it is coming back up. Alright, let's see if we can reassemble that, see how that does. Okay. So, yeah, see now it operates. Before it would go down and it would not come back up at all. Okay, so now let's try reassemble it here a little bit, and then we'll put some water in it and see. Now I have already cleaned out what was in this container before because it had some weed killer in it, and I don't want to be working with that all over my hands, so be sure and clean that up before you try to do any of this. And so what we're going to do now is just fill it with some regular water and try it out. Water in here, enough to give us a good test. There's no need to fill up the whole thing just to do this, because it might not work. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to discard all that water back into these containers again. Alright, so now I've got to get the lid. Put the lid back on. Tightening. Open it up a few times. Give us a little bit of pressure, but not too much. I would certainly do that a lot more if I was actually going to be using it. But for this test, I think it'll be fine. We'll see if this will, yeah, I don't know if that comes across on the camera or not, but it looks like it's spraying really fine now. And all it needed was a little cleaning out and a little bit of dielectric grease. Or, like I said, you could use Vaseline, something like that on that, and it would work just as good. And now my sprayer is back to working real good. And we'll see you next time in the garage.